Shalom uvracha from Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh. With the help of God, this evening we continue our joint study of the ethics of the fathers. We are studying chapter 2, Mishnah 13, part 3 of our study of that Mishnah. I've mentioned in previous studies that the number system of exactly how to number the Mishnayot are different in each edition. We are learning the Mishnah about the challenge of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai to his students. Ezohi derech sheidbak ba ha'adam. What is the proper level that a person should cling to? And we're in the middle of that discussion. Each of his 5 closest disciples is offering their own response. Today, we study the response of Rabbi Yosei. Rabbi Yosei's teaching about what he thinks to be, what he understood to be, the derech sheidbak ba ha'adam. What's the proper way? What's the all-inclusive system? What's the all-inclusive form of behavior that says everything, the all-encompassing teaching? Rabbi Yosei Omer, those people following the text can see it, Shachein Tov, the greatest pathway of spiritual success is connected to having a good neighbor. Last class that we studied together, we were analyzing the position of Rabbi Yehoshua, who taught us that in his opinion, a chaver tov, a good friend, that's the derech sheidbak ba ha'adam. That's the all-encompassing level. However, Rabbi Yossi disagrees. He felt that a shachein tov, a good neighbor, is on a level beyond the level of a chaver tov. As Rabbeinu Ovadia, the Rav writes in his commentary on the Mishnah, shachein tov matzui etzlo. A neighbor, how often do you see a neighbor? How often do you see a friend? I mean, occasionally. But your neighbor, every time you walk in and out of the house, he's always there, she's always there. Shachein tov matzui etzlo bein bayom, bein balayla. Ve'ilu chaver tov eino matzui etzlo b'chol eit. A friend, even a good friend, you see them, you meet them, you go to their house, they go to your house. Maybe you meet in other places, but it's not a constant. But a shachein tov, that's the statement that according to Rabbi Yossi, that's the goal, that's the aspiration of the pathway which a person should try to follow. The author of Tiferet Yisrael, one of the greatest commentaries on the Mishnah as well, suggests that some neighbors provide opportunities for us for great levels of chesed. Very often, neighbors lend to other neighbors. Very often, the neighbor is there to assist us. Neighbors are different levels of gemilut chasadim. And neighbors are constantly doing favors for each other. You want to put yourself in a place where you'll experience chasadim all the time? Shachein tov. Al Yidei Zeh, writes the Tiferet Yisrael, through having a shachein tov. So this one is knocking on the door, and this one is helping you in this way. Maybe that one is providing babysitting services, and this one can help out if something is needs immediate advice. This one, sometimes some person has no cash flow, and the neighbor lends them the money or certain products in the kitchen until the supermarket is always thousands of different ways. Al Yidei Zeh, says Tiferet Yisrael, mitragel kol echad mehem b'chasidut. Each neighbor is then sensitized to different levels of loving kindness. And this is the concept of a shachein. That very often the shecheinim tovim teach us ways of different levels of self-sacrifice. King Solomon taught us about the greatness of a shachein tov, of a good neighbor. And this is what he writes in his monumental work of the book of Proverbs, the book of Mishnah, chapter 27, verse 10. Tov shachein karov me'ach rachok. A close neighbor is greater, is better than a distant brother. Because the shachen karov is a very special blessing. It's a special, great, heavenly fortune to be blessed to have a brother or to have a sister. May all the brothers and the sisters in the world be blessed. However, a close neighbor is even greater than that. We have a concept that tov latzadik v'tov l'shcheno. There's a special blessing for a righteous person, but that very special blessing to that tzaddik, u'tzadeket, they're experiencing divine levels of blessing, but the blessing also includes those who are living nearby. Not only does the tzaddik or the tzadeket benefit from those brachot, the neighbor, tov latzadik, but tov l'shcheno. If you move in next to a very righteous person, and God will be bestowing different levels of heavenly bounty upon that individual, you will be benefiting. Shachen tov. The proof that's quoted in one of the midrashim, in Midrash Tanchuma, is the description of the order of the encampment of the Jewish people in the 40 years of their travels from Egypt to Eretz Yisrael. The tribes of Yehuda, Yisachar, and Zevulun, Mahane Yehuda, were shechenim, were close neighbors to Moshe, Aharon, and their children. According to the Midrash, these three tribes, Yehuda, Yisachar, and Zevulun, experienced special levels of brachot as a result of Tov Latzadik, V'Tov L'Shcheno. Rabbi Yossi is teaching, Shachein Tov, Ashrei HaTzadik. Fortunate is the Tzadik, V'Ashrei Shechenav. And fortunate are the neighbors of a Tzadik. Rabbi Yossi teaches us how important it is to find good neighbors. When one decides where they should purchase a home, where they should rent a home, it is ever so significant, according to this teaching of Rabbi Yossi, to meet the neighbors. Who are the neighbors? To evaluate, are these the people you want to live next door to? Are they shechenim tovim? Don't underestimate the influence of a shachen. A shachen tov is the answer to the derech tova. Ezohi derech tova. Sheidbak baha adam, as the question was posed by Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. This past Shabbat, we read of the tragic downfall of Korach and company. But along with Korach, the main participants in the rebellion were men from the tribe of Reuben, V'Datan, V'Aviram, B'nei Eliav, V'on ben Pelet, B'nei Reuven, from the tribe of Reuven. As Rashi quotes in his commentary on Korach, he's quoting the Midrash, B'shvil shahaya shevet Reuven, because since the tribe of Reuven, Sharui b'chanayatam Teimana, they were in the southern part of the camp of Israel, and they were shechenim. Shachen, Lekach Korach b'Yitzhar ben Kahat. They were in close proximity. They were neighbors. Lekahat ubanav, to the Korach family. Hachonim Teimana, and they were in the southern part of that encampment. So they were neighbors. Nishtatefu im Korach. It was that catalyst. It was that close neighborly connection that caused them nishtatefu im Korach b'machlokto oy l'rasha v'oy l'shecheno. Woe to the wicked. Woe to the person who lives near the wicked. When one lives in close proximity to people who are constantly involved in charitable acts, one learns to follow suit. If one lives in a neighborly connection to people who are constantly extending kindness to struggling individuals. If one sees their neighbors constantly hosting people, the person will be inspired to do the same. If a person is blessed to have a shachein tov, who every day you see the shachein tov, they're going to Torah classes. They're studying Torah. You see them on the porch learning. You see them leaving the house, going to the synagogue. Even if you're hesitant, well, should I go to the Beit Knesset? Should I not go to the Beit Knesset? Should I go to the shiur? Oh, you have an inspiration, constant source of, look! The neighbor over here, the neighbor on the right is going. The neighbor, okay, so maybe you're influenced by that. And maybe you will do the proper kinds of actions as a result of the Shachein Tov, who also is leading you to the pathway of connection to God. When children, how important it is for children to see proper kinds of neighbors. If they see a kind of a wholesome family of people living right next door to them, they see the mutual love and respect between the father and the mother of the family. They see the way they raise their children. The Shechenim Tovim, the children. You know what kind of effect, you know what kind of impact it has upon children? When they see that the Shechenim Tovim, the Shechein Tov, speak politely, speak with respect, speak with dignity, speak with gentility. The influence of the Shachein Tov will make an indelible mark on the inner beings of all of the children. A Shachein Tov, a good neighbor, also means that we should be there. Not only you should move next to a Shachein Tov, we should become Shecheinim Tovim. You should be a Shachein Tov. Ezo hidera tova shidbak Shachein Tov. Not go look for a good neighbor. Be a good neighbor. We should strive to become a Shachein Tov. So many opportunities for Hesed. Just a few weeks ago, I heard about a couple who decided that they really need some time off. They had to go away. They have 4 children, 5 children. They felt that they need time to reconnect, to bond, the struggles of working, and who's going to take care of their children? Neither of them have parents in the Holy Land here of Israel. So they left their children, I think 5 children, with their Shachein Tov, with their Shecheinim Tovim. For a week, the neighbors were taking care of their, besides, thank God, their own children. Baruch Hashem, they brought in 5 Shecheinim Tovim, right? 5 of their neighbors, lovingly volunteering to take care of the children for more than a week. So we have a sense of obligation to our neighbors. And we have to perhaps reach out and be sensitized to the needs of our neighbors more than to the needs of others. If someone lives near you, then you're obligated to help them. For instance, I'd like to cite at least 1 or 2 Talmudic precedents to this concept. We learn in the Talmud, in Tractate Ketubot, those interested in looking it up, it's on 67b, Samach Zayin Amud Bet in Ketuvot. The Gemara tells about one of these most outstanding rabbinic personalities. His name was Mar Ukva. Mar Ukva. Besides all of his great Torah teachings, Mar Ukva was an expert in the concepts of charity. Tremendous philanthropist. Tremendous sensitivity. That whole section there's about laws and concepts of charity. It's worthwhile reviewing for those who haven't studied Ketuvot 67 recently. And in several of the stories about Mar Ukva, it speaks there, Mar Ukva, this is the way the story is introduced. Mar Ukva hava anya bishivivute. Mar Ukva had a poor person who was a neighbor of his, in his neighborhood. And then, it describes about how he would drop off donations anonymously every day at the doorstep of his. But the Gemara introduces the story with, this is a neighborly story. This is a story of neighbors. Mar Ukva hava anya b'shivivute. If you're supposed to try to help all the poor people. Let's say he lives in the other community. You also have to help it. But if you're a neighbor, be a Shachein Tov. There's another story about Mar Ukva. It says that there was one family used to give daily donations. Then there was one family that every Erev Yom Kippur, on the day before the Day of Atonement, the day before Yom Kippur, he would see to it to extend special levels of blessing, and he would give a special donation. A Talmudic source for giving charity on Erev Yom Kippur, by the way. Right? Marukva, and how is the story introduced? Marukva Hava'anya Bishevevutei, in his neighborhood. He had a neighbor who was poor. What's the difference where the neighbor lived? What's the difference if he lived next to him, not next to him? Why is it important for us to know that these poor people were his neighbors? According to one school of thought, it's important to know this, for there is an obligation for an individual to try to strive to become a shachein tov. We must especially apply ourselves to the spiritual, material, psychological, and physical needs of our neighbors. Ezohi derech tova she'yidbak ba ha'adam. Rabbi Yossi Omer, shachein tov. May each of us, in his or her own way, we all merit to have and to be shecheinim tovim. Thank you so much for listening. Shalom.